Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today and coming on and checking me out. Appreciate that. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Martinez, and I am a QHHT practitioner. And that is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And this method was developed by Dolores Cannon. So if you don't know her and haven't heard of her, you can check her out, dolorescannon.com. As well, I have a website, and it's jennifermartinezqhht.com. So you can check that out if you want a session. I would love to give you a session. Yes. So today I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about our lives. Slowing down a little bit. It's almost like you've heard stop and smell the roses. That's exactly kind of what I thought the other day. I was in the city. I actually live in the country, so a little bit more relaxed environment. But I was in the city, and it's busy, and there's a lot going on, and I'm pretty used to it. As far as I'm from back east, I live in Montana now, but I'm from back east. I'm from where I grew up in all that environment. So it's kind of just second nature to me. When I am there, I can just blend in pretty darn well. But I also realized living that life daily, we just go, 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 go. We don't really do self-care. When we wake up, at the very latest we can wake up, and we get dressed and get ready and go to work or go wherever we needed, whatever we're doing that day. And we don't wake up, take our time, enjoy the morning. I know a lot of people aren't morning people, but just self-care is what I'm really getting at, is like, okay, make the smoothie and take the supplements I need. Maybe I don't take supplements or vitamins. What do I need to take? And that's even something that you would pay attention to, and maybe seek out holistic healing. And that's why a session with QHHT, with quantum healing hypnosis technique, it will lead you to, maybe you're enduring something that your body can't handle, and so on. And so just self-care, and it's just really important more than ever, because of our vibration. We're trying to raise our vibration. And when we eat toxic foods, and just everyday food, really, we need to really pay attention what we're putting in our mouth, and not just eating because, oh, we're super hungry. Actually care about ourselves and say, okay, let's see, I'm going to be super busy, so I need to make sure that I have this food with me, this water with me, and so on. I just think it's like really important for us to stop and think, okay, what do I need for the day? What will make me the very best I can be in the day? And that's seriously taking a break and saying, hey, I need a break. I need to walk away from the computer. I need to get some fresh air. And not just rushing through your day just to get to the end of the day, because then it turns into like this cycle of, before you know it, 20 years goes past, and you look back and you're like, wow, what was that? It's not like you really had a chance to slow down and enjoy your moments of your life. And it's just really important more than ever. And I know that it's not easy to do. That's what I was saying, is like, being in the city, you go, go, go. And it's not easy to pump the brakes and say, okay, today I'm going to take a little extra time and have self-care. Or I'm going to take a little extra time and do something good for me. What makes me happy? I mean, that's what we don't do enough of. We're always worrying about pleasing someone else, or hurrying to get this done, or hurrying to get that done. And really, I mean, sure, you should be able to plan your day and get the things you do need done. Of course, I mean, we have to live our lives. It makes perfectly good sense. But it's doing it in a way that doesn't I suppose, put you in this boat of unhealthy, not thinking for yourself, maybe just always worrying about something. And when you do that, you focus on something else when really you should be focusing on yourself and what makes you happy, what makes you feel good. As far as health goes, I mean, sometimes we get migraines all the time, and sometimes we get backaches all the time. So, as I go through my patients, when they come to me, my clients, when they come to me, um, I'm also trained in Julia Cannon, which is Dolores Cannon's daughter. And she's pretty much helped the whole time with Dolores. Maybe not the whole time, but pretty darn close. But she wrote a book from the higher self, basically spoke through her, the angels, the other side, gave her these thoughts, as she would go through her whole day. And it's called Soul Speak. And I know I've talked about it before, but it's basically the higher self giving messages through the body. So again, like I said, if you get a backache or if you're always having migraines, so right now, if you look in her book, it says backache is like you're carrying too much baggage. You're carrying worries and fears and all that stuff. And it's not even just yours, it's actually everyone. It's usually everyone else's. Maybe you've lost someone, and that is definitely baggage. It gets left on us. We're so sad. But what we have to do is reverse it. We have to accept it. And then we have to know that they're in our hearts, because that's so important. And when you put your hand on your heart and you think about the person you love, they're right there. Literally, they're next to you 100%. It's like you have to clear up the emotion of sadness and that doubt, that like fear, that horrible sadness that we carry. And that's baggage. We don't deserve to carry it. The loved ones who left, they don't want us to carry it. They don't. They love you, and they can see you very well from the other side, and they're just going to help you on your journey. Because the thing is, we have to realize is it's almost like you have to take a pride of like, you know what? Okay, they're gone. Okay, well now I have to step it up, and I have to be the very best me, because that's what they would actually really want. If you could like have a session with quantum healing and go under and see that person you actually love, which you can, of course, we can connect immediately. We're so multidimensional, amazing beings. We can connect to the other side. You've seen it before. I mean, I know people have seen other things before, like, the whole ghost thing. It just lets you know there's something else on the other side. And as I'm going through Julia's book, it made me just really understand, even though I understand it and stuff, but I like to go over the material all the time, and just really, because I'm always changing. I'm always shifting, and we're all so different. So when someone comes in to see me and wants a session, they had a whole different life than the person before and the person after. So it's like I almost start fresh every single time. I keep my basics, my understandings of the process. But for the most part, it's fresh and brand new every time. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the higher self wants to bring through. I kind of like it that way too. It's kind of fun. But migraines, I wanted to get back to migraines. That means like you've had past life trauma. That could have been the way you actually died in a past life. So that energy gets left there and it comes over. And maybe we didn't have migraines when we were a little kid, but maybe at the age that it happened, maybe 31, maybe 35, then all of a sudden we get migraines all the time. It's showing that there was an energy, like a lapse of a past life into this current life, and that energy is there at that very age, that time. I know that I never had a fear of deep water or anything when I was a kid, but for some reason, as I got older, I had a fear of deep water and I didn't understand it. was like, what the heck? Well, little did I know, I went under, of course, as a practitioner. We practice on each other with the classmates and whatnot when you're in class. And I was an Atlantean. Wow, it was like amazing. But I died on destruction day by a tidal wave. So I drowned in deep water that was beyond deep. Like, you were not getting to the top. It was just, there was no way. And so anyway, that's why I really like Julia's book, because it kind of made me realize is that we rush through life, and we're not listening to our body. We're not, so if we have the aches and the pains and stuff, we can actually ask ourselves. I mean, we hold the answer. It's the illusion that you think we don't hold the answer. We're actually brilliant. And when you come in to see me, that's what you're going to see is your own brilliance. It's in each of us, but our society, the era, everything's in play. We're switching from this fear-based uh, civilization to this pure love and compassion civilization. And so, with the help of these practitioners and other practitioners, I mean, if you went to an acupuncture, I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So, if you went to a Reiki practitioner, yoga, meditation, anything that connects you to the other side and ground you to the earth. See, we're these amazing beings, and we need both. This is our home planet, you guys. This is our home, right? Earth. We need to be connected. I mean, we love the outdoors. We love going outside. I know people do. They love it. I see it all the time. I went to the city yesterday, and I was like, wow, everybody's out, and this is so great, and I love it. But what I didn't like was everyone was rushing. No one was, you rush through life, and all you need to do is just slow down. Actually stop and say, wow, that is a beautiful, like, lawn area, garden area. I mean, as simple as that. It's a beautiful tree. It's actually seeing nature and actually acknowledging it. It shifts you, it changes you. I mean, I know it's not, I know that a lot of people aren't like me where they are so connected, but I used to be not this way. It's taken me a long time. I was very much asleep. I always consider the people who race around, they're asleep, and not asleep like go to bed, go to sleep. It's asleep like you're not consciously awake. You just live life. You just wake up, you just go to work, you just do this circle, and you always wait for someone to tell you what to do. Always. And that means the government, that means the society, that means the commercials. I mean, the commercials tell us what to do all day long, if you haven't noticed that already. Most people have. It's just like when I was reading this book over and over, I love reading this book over and over. And it's like, she reminded me, it's like, if you say you're going to have a cold every winter, guess what? You just told your body out loud, your body's listening to you, hi. And you just told your body that you get a cold every winter. So it's the same. Those commercials are horrendous. You have to really be careful of that. And because, see, we're on like an autopilot, so we're almost a little hypnotized a little when we watch TV, or we take in too much social media. It's all crap. Sorry to say. There's a lot of good stuff, but you really have to fish for it. And try not to overdo it. I think that's the biggest, is to have a balance. And that's really what I mean by starting your day with self-care, actually caring about yourself. Don't fill your fresh mind in the morning with social media. Good. I'm so glad. And if you do, put yourself on a little time limit. Put yourself like a 10 minutes, because you really don't need much. I mean, you just want to see what's new, and that's totally fine. I mean, I agree with that too. But I've realized I've actually cut a lot of social media out, and I only do what I need. And it puts you in a better state of mind when you start your day with self care. You actually care about what you eat, you actually chew your food, with each bite and actually chew it. I think we just eat and hurry up and get done and hurry up and do this and when we can stop, slow down, it's like the whole logic of stop and smell the roses. Um, Obviously, you could stop and smell roses if you saw them, but not literally is what I mean. I mostly mean like notice things around you, really appreciate things around you, appreciate the conveniences we have. I think we take those things for granted anymore. If you thought about 10 years ago, we barely even had the iPhone. So, we have to, if we go into the future as we do, we want to first have love and compassion for our own selves. I think that's 100%. And if you had a session, you could really see that with the session. That's what quantum healing hypnosis technique is. It's to show you how amazing you are and how what you really chose for this life. Oh, thank you. You're amazing too. That's the thing. We're all actually so amazing. And we all need to be that way. And it took me a lot of courage to even create a page and do this, but I did it. So it's great and it feels good. And I would just do this with my friends, and they would be so enlightened that they were like, if you don't do this, you're crazy for not. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it. I just know that I came here for a reason to help humanity, to uplift people, bring them up. They need to raise their vibration, be the best they can be. Because when you're the best you can be, literally, that's how the world changes. I mean, if we're all the best we can be, this would be a pretty darn good life, world, and I mean, we'd be doing great. I really truly believe that. And I actually am starting to see that in the cities. But that's mostly what I was really talking about, is just being in the city. I live in the country, and it's fast and it's go, go, go. And 20 years goes by, and you thought, wow, how did how did that happen? And then we get sick and things like that happen because we're not giving ourselves self-care. We're just buzzing through life, and we're not saying, okay, so this is my day. I'm going to actually stretch. I'm going to actually care for myself, put good stuff in my body, limit my social media, limit my TV, and hope for a great day. I mean, I don't think most people do that. I didn't not very long ago. I would just wake up and go to work and do a full circle, the whole work, come home, work, that whole deal, and live fast. I never slowed down. But I got introduced to Dolores. And when I did, it changed my life forever. Her energy, she wasn't even alive, and her energy is so alive that I felt so honored to to just know her, to just understand what she put. She dedicated half of her life because she couldn't really do it until the other half of her life, but she did it 100%. And now I know this beautiful technique, and the angels helped her, the other side helped her. And I've had like at least 6 sessions done on me because you practice as a practitioner. And I've been several things. I'm an old soul. So I've been at the beginning of time, beginning when Earth was created. I've lived not me as me, but my soul. Our souls travel, our souls never die. But it all leads up to your current life. And when you you wouldn't even be on here if you weren't somewhat a higher soul, like an older soul, a high vibration. Because it's too hard for some people to understand and wrap their mind around it. They're just either they've never got taught it, um, whatever the case may be. And so, what was I going to say? Anyway, it's amazing. I've had several lives that popped up, and it was just so neat because I was these uh, higher figures, I suppose, and now I'm just a regular person, and I love it. And it's so cool because I feel like now it's like the power of the regular people. Like we have the power. There's more of us than the government. There's more of us than any of the bad people. Thank you. And I just feel like it's the power of the regular people. I know that sounds funny, but like, I feel like we're more powerful than we ever have. Look back at history. There was the Hebrews who were controlled by the Egyptians for thousands of years. And then there were the other guys, which I'm not thinking of who were controlled by the Romans. So when you look back, the society, the big mass of people were controlled by a certain government, a certain, so, and I feel like now is the time that we wake up. It's the great awakening. It's a great, oh, good. Yeah. Right now it's the best time to be alive because we're watching it shift from the old dimension, which is fear based, which is, oh, what does the government tell us? Oh, we have to do that. Oh, okay. Not. Why don't we think for ourselves? Right here, we have an amazing mind. But just from day one, from birth up, maybe we weren't taught that we were smart. Maybe we weren't encouraged by the people around us. They didn't say, wow, you're brilliant. Oh, you're smart. Oh, you're great. When you don't have that, and I kind of grew up that way, as why did you do that? That wasn't the right way. But they wouldn't tell you until you did it, until it was done. And then you were like, why did I do that? And it would be like later after fact. And then they would be like backlash, like, and when you don't when you don't grow up with that environment, I can understand 100% because I came from that environment, that it's not easy to pop right out and be like, okay, here I am. I'm going to stop and smell the roses and I'm going to appreciate the trees. And okay, that sounds weird, but and it's like, I have a lot of people around me I know that are like that. But guess what? I do it. After I had my session, I woke up and it made me more awake more than ever having all the sessions that I had because it really like it does something. It unlocks something in our minds. See, we're all brilliant and we're all amazing. But for some reason, we're all dumbed down. Like, oh, no, they're better than me. There's no way. It's like that's the old energy trying to hold on because see right now it's the split. We're going into the love and the compassion time, and you'll see more people like me who are just sending out love and compassion and always trying to help others to be at the same, bring them up. Why does everyone have to be down there? Let's help everyone. And right, we have a lot of us, so like 7 or 8 billion people. I get it. But it just starts with one person at a time. That's really it. One person at a time. There's no way you could have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Um, that's what I feel like the government does to us is put the weight of the world on all of our shoulders. And that's not fair. We really have to stop and think, wait a minute. That's an illusion. I don't need to get sucked into that. I need to do the best I can do for me. And that's take care of myself first. And then the ones around me, like family members, because obviously there's people there, we all have kids or not, or whatever, whoever we have to care for. And when we do that and put all the rest of the negative stuff, the very last thing we should ever think about if we're going to think about it. That's what's empowering, taking your power back and thinking for yourself and saying, nope, that doesn't work for me, because essentially that's our right. It's a right as a human being. So, we're supposed to say what's good for us because we're all very much different. And that's why I like quantum healing. It wakes you up. It really can help lead you to living the best you. I even suggest a Reiki session because, again, it's the Reiki. We have energy fields in us. We have our seven different Reiki major main spots. And when those are not flowing correctly, we have other issues, health issues. Just There's just a handful of things that could just be hindering us, and we can't live our best life. And I just think now that sometimes we're even not forced, we chose. That's what we always have to remember too, is like, oh, chose to live in certain places. So sometimes we don't pay attention. That's not the best place for us. And so sometimes when you step back and say, is this the right place for me to be living? Is this going to, if you're not thriving, you could be dying. Your body will just completely just wither away. Your body is a shell of your soul. And if your soul feels like you're not thriving and doing something amazing for you, what point is it? What point is it all, and not in a bad way, what point is it, but like, it makes you kind of step back and say, okay, wait a minute. I could care about myself and really love on myself and tell myself I'm amazing every day. And affirmations, I do those daily, and it's changed my life. I love myself so much more now than I ever have. You don't realize we don't love on ourselves. I guess I never really paid attention like that. So thank you. It's just nice when you do start loving on yourself and treat yourself good. Don't be mean to yourself. And, you don't deserve that. That's a big deal. Don't be hard on yourself. That's one of my biggest things I say to the clients when they come in, because they are just hard as heck on themselves. And it's like, whoa, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You don't deserve it. Maybe you didn't know 100%. There is 7 laws out there that are governed by the heavens. They've created law of vibration, law, cause and effect. There's 7 of them. And when you're pushing against these laws, your life's not going to go so smoothly. When you welcome them in and you really understand that there is law of vibration and there is law of cause and effect, it's like, okay, it does shift you to a new you almost. You become aware that, oh, that's why it was a challenge for me. I just kept going head to head and fighting it and fighting it. And when you do that, it's not going to work. That was number 1 in Julia's thing, in Julia's Cannon's book. She said, don't fight anything. When you fight it, it just gets worse. But when you lay off of it and forgive it possibly, or just don't fight it, things get better. And so I really love that. And that's also law of cause and effect. And I just think it's really important now for people to start hearing this more than ever. It's time for us to wake up, because I don't like society getting controlled the way they're getting controlled. I don't let the outside control me anymore. I used to. I worked at the bank. I did everything A to Z. I did everything you were supposed to do perfectly and perfectly right. But guess what? I was miserable because I didn't love myself. I didn't care about myself. Sure, you do your normal bank look and you look nice and everything, but really love myself. Really listen to my angels. My friend, we had a blizzard here the other day, so we have no snow today. Crazy, because it's winter now. You can pretty much consider it winter. It's the high mountains. We're up in the high mountains. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know what it's time for? You to start loving yourself. I already know it. Just by you saying that, it's a clear message, and you can actually ask your angels to help guide you. Yeah. And that's literally waking up every morning and doing self care. So, having a smoothie, taking supplements that better your body. And maybe you might have to go to a nutritionist and level the body out with supplements because you would want to do that properly. But that's why I like quantum healing. You can actually have a session and you can look up a practitioner in your area by going to qhhtofficial.com, and then you can find a practitioner in your area. It's worth it 100%, because your higher self probably wants to talk to you, honestly. You're welcome. Yeah, and I can just feel the energy already, so I'm kind of telepathic and I can feel it all, and that's what I feel right now for you. I don't even have to know you, physically know you. We're all connected, the higher self. So, and I can guarantee you, if you had a session, they would say, oh, we want to talk to you, we want to tell you good stuff, we want to fill you up with joy and love and passion and compassion, and just really want you to live your very best you. You deserve it. Period. That's it. It's that simple. Joy. Number one. Um, yeah, I was just going to say, oops, you're welcome. You're very welcome. We all deserve it. Definitely. Yeah, worthy of the message from your higher self, worthy of living your best life. Yeah, I mean, I just listened to a really nice quote the other day, was our family needs to build us up and they're always the first to knock us down. And it's kind of funny that the outsiders, so here I'm not even your family, but guess what, we're family on the other side. Um, and I just that's my deal, is like I just want everyone to be the best they can be. And so, yeah, my plan is to open up a holistic center in West Yellowstone, Montana, and let people come and get healing. And they can choose any practitioner they want. I'll have a good handful of ladies or guys, whoever's interested in it. But not even just quantum healing. I want that the person to come in and choose quantum healing or Reiki or acupuncture or a massage or just yoga meditation, and get connected and hear your angels and know that you have this beautiful, um, that's so amazing. I love that. I love that. I love that. Even just bringing a smile to those people. Um, we have a church, a local church in town, and they do that same thing. And everyone who wants to help, it's like you got to book your helpers a year in advance, because I tried to help again, and yeah, they're like, we have as many volunteers as they could take. um Hilarious, I thought. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, so I'll help in other ways, and I'll do a podcast, and I'll just send out my love. But I love that, because I'm actually from Detroit, and I always feel like those people just need a second chance. They always just need someone. We all had things that happened to us. We've all do. And that's kind of what I meant about earlier, is like we have baggage. It's because we get dealt a crappy hand and we get sucked into it, versus, sure, we got dealt that crappy hand, but guess what? We're amazing. So we're going to beat this. We're going to get through it. Maybe not beat it, but like get through it, because we don't want to. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, and when you uplift people and they do a 360 and they do the best they can, I mean, that to me, that's my joy. That's like, I don't know, like I feel like that's why I came here. That's why I came to Earth. Um, period. I love bringing people joy. That was always one of my biggest things. Yeah. Thank you. Um, yeah, even working in at the bank, that was my biggest thing. I did. I When I left the bank, I started doing senior care because I just love them. And I already had a clientele from everyone at the bank. So it kind of worked out really perfectly. I did that as well as I started that. That's when I found Dolores. Um, Sorry about that, my phone. Jeez. I thought I had it on vibrate. um, but that's how I found Dolores. Just it's bizarre how you find it, but you know that the thing is that that there's no accidents. That was the other thing I was going to say. No way that it just happens like that. No. So there is your angels. There is your higher self. And that's why we have to slow down so that we can hear them tell us things. Maybe it's through our vehicle. Maybe it's through just walking down the street. Maybe we don't even drive in a vehicle. Maybe we go on the trains or maybe we go on the bus. Guess what? There's signs everywhere. And guess what? Those signs are for you. When you see that particular sign, that's meant for you. Maybe it says go that way. Maybe it says go left, stop, all those things. Um, that's why I love Julia's Soul Speak. Thank you. I'm really trying to put it out there like that. I like Julia's Soul Speak book because anyway, I was saying my friend had gotten a car accident. It was a blizzard, and he rolled his car and it kind of smashed the front. So it was like kind of head on almost, but he didn't hit anyone. He just kind of just rolled it style. But in Julia's book, she literally has a section that says, there are no accidents. Like your angels are taking desperate measure for you to listen to them. And I think that's why I kind of say stop and smell the roses, because you don't want the angels to have to be that at that point of trying to stop you from what way you're really going. Maybe we weren't meant to be the multimillionaire, and if we are, we have to do it with a certain intention. We can't have bad intentions like greed or anything like that. But that happens. See, that's the thing. We get all that money and then you get all that power, and then it's fulfilling, it's egotistic, but it's not bad. That's the thing. When you truly love yourself and you hold it humbly, it's okay to be a millionaire. It's okay. It really is. Having the money, you can help people even more. So it's like when you hold that love, you're welcome. When you hold that love for yourself, number one, has to be you. Has to be. I mean, if you don't love yourself, you'll never be able to love others. You won't. It will be impossible. And when you love and care for yourself, you feel the best. And so, yeah, he really, he got hurt, my friend. And I told him, hey, you need a session. It sounds like your angels and your higher self's really desperately trying to give you a message. And it's tough. Some people aren't, they're just not into it. That's why I say they're very much asleep. And that's why the angels take desperate measures. And sometimes they say it's time to leave. And that could be a heart attack and gone in a blink of an eye. Happened to my other friend's dad. And so, unless you really want to go, the best thing you could ever do is stay. And it's not like, I know people get in these really hard situations. They don't have the luxuries of others, but it's really just an illusion. Everyone can have this. Every single being can go under with this technique. If you, I was just listening to one of my mentors, and she was saying that we really need to think for ourselves, because when you come in for a session, we immediately say to the client, trust the first thing that you see. You're so sweet. That's very kind. That's very kind. Oh, um, yeah. So, It's neat. I love giving, Thanksgiving. And guess what? I'm born in this month. So it's perfect for me. Um, I love to give, but you also have to have a balance. You got to take and give. There's got to be a balance. Thank you. But I think that's the biggest. When we give too much, that's not good for us either. We have to. It's got to be an even balance of give and take, and that's the law of. I believe I'm learning these laws. These laws are magnificent. See, I didn't grow up in a church or anything, so um, I really need to. Just practice them in my life. I love them. They're not made by man. So how pure they are. It's probably like reading it out of the Bible or something amazing. I don't usually go to that book, but I like listening to my angels. I like listening to the higher self. Sometimes I have dreams and they're telling me things or they're teaching me, and I actually have gotten to the point where I can actually remember it, wake up and say, okay, what do I need to do for myself? Maybe I need to exercise more, or maybe, and so that's what you need to do. And that's why meditation is so great. Yeah, no interpretation of dreams, of course. I mean, but dreams are funny because they really can mean so many things. They really can. I mean, it's like, they can use that's awesome. Well, of course you do. Of course. We're all brilliant. It's all there. You just trust your gift. We're all given a gift, but no one trusts it. And when you trust it, you know, um, you can do anything. I'm great. Yeah. Yeah. I am very, the more I do Reiki and the more I do my spiritual holistic healing. Good. Me too. Yep. It's awesome. I'm so glad you came on my podcast. I really appreciate it. Yeah. It's mostly about, just loving yourself, slowing down. We live in the cities and stuff. Slow down a little bit. Do good stuff for yourself first. And, we all have this amazing gift in us. We just have to find what that gift is. What is our talent? But we're not going to be able to find our talent if we don't love ourselves first. That's and like care about ourselves and put good stuff in our mind. Let us think for ourselves, what's good for us, and so on. So when we do that, we're a whole different us. We're a whole better us. You're funny. Thank you. Um, but when we're the best we can be, I mean, isn't that what it's all about? I think. And thinking for ourselves, listening to our angels. Have you guys laughed today? I can guarantee you most people don't laugh. They hardly laugh. Thank you. That's always one of my biggest things I want people to do every day. There's top 5 things. And on the top 5 things, you have to laugh. And I don't mean like, ha ha ha, a tiny bit of laugh. No, I mean like find something that almost brings you to tears. Like you're laughing so hard. You need that. You need those endorphins. You need your body to have it completely filled with laughter. And if we can't get to that part, that's why I always suggest having a session and going to find a practitioner in your area. It's so important if you have not had a session. So qhhtofficial.com, find a practitioner in your area. But I mean, if you want to go to my page, it's great. I would appreciate it. And that's Jennifer Martinez, qhht.com. It's, all brand new. I just started. But I've been doing it for 3 years now. So it's pretty fresh. Most people in my field have been doing it for 20. I just don't want to be that person where I'm starting after 20 years. I'm starting now. I need to tell humanity now. It's important. If you can't laugh, if you can't take care of yourself and you feel a void, it's because it's your higher self. You're missing that connection. Period. Period. It is that simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. We don't need to put all these layers of, oh, it's not going to work and it doesn't work for me. No, that is not true. It does work for you. It really does. We're all we're all amazing. We all are meant to come here and do the best we can do, and if that means you have to move, if that means whatever the case may be, change your routine. I feel like that's the biggest. If we can change our routine and actually do some self-care and actually look in the mirror, you can't change the face in the mirror by hitting the mirror, can you? No, but you've got to change the inside. And that is creating new habits, and that is affirmations, and that is slowing down and saying, wow, what a beautiful day. Smell the fresh air. Like literally feel like, wow, I can feel my angels. I can feel the higher self. Yes, I'm alive on this planet right now, and I'm a part of all of this. And this is a huge event going on. We're leaving the 3D, the three dimension. We're leaving that. That's the fear driven. We don't like that. That's the old world, old earth. That's no one likes that. I can talk to millions of people and they hate it. They don't like it. It's because you know why? Inside our pure self, we're all love and compassion. We all care about each other. We all are family, you know, and but we've got it all mixed up. There's so much going on here. There's so many different dimensions. There's so many. That's amazing. Talk to the trees, talk to nature. There's fairies out there. Because there's elementals is what they're called. Elementals. And they're out there. And you can't see them because, you can't. We're all very low vibration. But when you raise your vibration and you have this beautiful imagination built into our brains, we are so lucky to have imagination. They put that in our brains. Can you think about that for a second? I try to, because I have to understand it. It's like, wow, when they created us, when we evolved over years and years, here we are with this beautiful mind that we can actually imaginate things. But guess what? They could be real too. We can make it real. And they say that all the time with the business world. You can, if you see it, you can believe it. If you see the building, it's there. They say it all day long for years. It's the same concept. If you go in the forest, I live the same way. The forest is right there, and they, and talking to the trees and loving on them and just loving nature. That's the whole thing. We're a multidimensional being. We are connected to the heavens as well as this is our planet. We're connected to the earth. We need to be grounded. If you don't ground yourself, that's also a disconnect. That's also a lonesome feeling. Um, I think that that's a really big deal. And they actually are harvesting some wood by us, so I don't like it. I'm like, well, at first I was in shock because you see all those trees cut, but then my mind thought, okay, if they're alive and there was a consciousness in there, okay, they evolved and they went on to the next thing they had to be. Because see, as I learned Dolores Cannon and I started reading all of her books, so she has 19 books with the whole quantum healing hypnosis technique. And so she did it for almost 50 years. She was a writer. So every time she'd have a session in Australia, and then she'd have it in just all over the world. And then she'd come back here to the States, and then she would do another session, and it would match some of the stuff and some of the stuff in Australia, like when she would take these people under, and it would match, and she would be like, wow, I didn't tell anybody about this. How did they have the same answers? That's when she knew there was something amazing and mighty on the other side. That's when she realized we were so magnificent. And she wrote these books. I probably read about 13 out of the 19. And yeah, and it opened my eyes to everything that, she would have people who were a tree, who were a plant, then they went to the animal, and then they were these animals, and then they went to humans, and then they were, so it was the spirit, the soul's journey. And the soul would build up all this knowledge of what it was like to be each thing. And of course, we come into our lives and they're so beautiful on the other side because they wipe it, they put a veil over our eyes and they go, okay, it would be too much for her human mind to understand that she was all these amazing things. So we're just going to make it invisible for now. And then hopefully as she ages, she can see the beauty in life. And here I am as I age, because I grew up in poverty as a little kid. I never had, nice new stuff. I remember being the 12-year-old who was like, nope, I'm going to work. And so what I would do is I would mow lawns, or I would walk people's dogs, or anything for a couple of bucks, right? And so I would do that, and I would work really, really hard, all to buy a brand new pair of shoes. Because, of course, I'm a girl, and that's girls' dreams, because I always had the ratty shoes, the not nice stuff. But I realized why I had that journey now that I'm older is because I needed to see what it was like to live that life, to be that way, because it's such a low vibration. I grew up in a very, I don't know, best environment. It wasn't like a drug or alcoholic environment. It was more of a depressed environment, and had a lot of losses. And, and that leaves the family members who are older more, they're sad. They're just sad. They don't know how to self care. They don't understand why they're even alive. They don't understand why they're on the planet. They have no clue. And I grew up that way. And now as I got older and got married and did the whole life thing, I think I was about 35 when I was like, wait a minute, like there's got to be much more out there. And that's kind of where I wanted to leave the bank and just venture out, because I've always just done what I was supposed to. Go to school, then I got out of school, and then it was more school, and then it was more like, no, now you have to work, and now you have to just do life this way. And I wasn't a very nature girl. I was always like, oh, I don't want to get dirty. I don't want to do that. Oh, that's horrible. Woods, go in the forest. How could I? But I'm as I got older now, I'm older, and so now I feel like, wow, okay, I'm so glad I could see that, because it makes me appreciate life even more, and it makes me appreciate the nature more. It makes me appreciate just more, just life, being alive, enjoying this planet, enjoying the growth, the watching humanity evolve. I think that brings me more joy than anything. Just being here, just being alive. I think I'm just so grateful for it. I'm so grateful. Sure, I'm as I better myself, my life gets better. But thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. It's a big thing for me because I've always just followed the leader, and now I'm the leader. Now I am the leader. And at first I was like really scared to be the leader. And now, after several sessions with quantum healing, they told me over and over is that I was the leader and that I would be teaching. And so at this point, I'm not teaching, but I want to even teaching people to self-love, their self-care is better, and leading them to better themselves. I mean, that to me that's exactly it. That's awesome. That's so cool. I can't wait to tell my friends. Like, I'm so excited, and but they're gonna not be surprised. They're gonna be like, "I told you." And my higher self and my angels, they're always talking through me too. So sometimes I get on a little rampage and I can just feel it, and it just comes right out. And I'm like I'll even like pause for a second because I feel like, okay, then now they calm down because they said what they needed to say. Oh, thank you so much. I actually really love doing this podcast. I think it was probably October when I started doing it. So it's been a great couple of months. I I've had a lot of sessions lately of just other people, and they're not showing me past lives. That's the other thing I was going to say. They're actually showing me, because technically, as you go through, and this technique is really neat, it taps into the cellular structure, the memories of our cells. And the higher self's going to show you what it needs to show you for this current life, what will better you. And so sometimes, like I said before, is like we had to have died a certain way, and it is just what it has to be. And sometimes that gets held, like the energy gets held, and we'll have migraines constantly, or we may be eating something we're not supposed to, and that can cause migraines. So having a session, the higher self knows everything. It just does. It knows all. And it can see the future, the past, the present, all of it. And so usually it shows me the current life, because the current life, there's some stagnant points in it. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're not loving on ourselves. We're hating on ourselves. And that's mostly coming from society. Honestly, we fill our minds with social media and TV, and that just poisons our mind as far as we end up judging ourselves. We end up second guessing what we like. We end up getting pressured almost too much to mold to society, as they would say. And that's why I like to push QHHT, because it really has you step out and be you. Be you. I don't. I eat. So we have our garden. So yes, I do. I eat a lot of like our garden. We have like a ton of stuff. It's like endless, like all your basic stuff. And I do like meat, like some women are very, and some people are very, they're just, not into meat, but we actually do wild game. So, elk, we have everything fresh out here, and fish, we go fishing. So we do everything fresh and from the land, and we give thanks to those animals, because, you have to. If you don't do it right, you're not going to, it's not going to work out for you by getting those animals and eating them and stuff. But when we do it properly, and we use the whole animal, and we feed our family that way. So that's preferably what I want, because the thing is those mass productions, they pump those animals full of horrible. You could look it up. I mean, some of our food's poisonous. And that's what I mean by sometimes we eat things that are not healthy for our body and our body. And so when we have a session, sometimes the higher self's like, ooh, no more dairy. Like, it's poisonous. Things like that. And that could be having us gain weight or not feel good, or whatever the case is. Sometimes we ignore these signs for so long that it causes like a nervous system in us, and we develop other things like just all sorts of stuff. There's so many diseases and things out there now. And that's because we're not listening to our higher self, and we're not caring about ourselves. We have too much doubt, too much worry, and no self care. None. Zero. That's incredible. It's incredible. I walk a couple miles, so that's really great. I mean, wow, I need to step it up. um, I guess I just do exactly what I feel like I need to do. But I love exercising. I love to feel good. I'm pretty fit as a person. I think once we get ourselves to that fit point, we don't want to lose it because it feels good. We feel the best. Um, and I know there's so many people who aren't even close to fit and they think, oh, it's getting fit. What? That's a form of self care. I mean, you don't need to overdo it, of course. And that's wonderful. I've been doing it for a while too. But it's just like, if you can start little and do small things and just start. Don't say I'm doing it tomorrow. Don't say I'm doing it in a month. Just do it. Just start. Set your goal and make it set for now because you'll never do it. You'll never do it. I've been in that boat. That's exactly it. I've like literally been in the boat of like, oh, I'll start first thing in the morning. No, no, you just basically start today, right in that moment, and write your goals out. Slow down, write your goals out, and say them out loud every day until that goal happens. Because there's also, I was telling you about the 7 laws. I'll have to do a whole podcast for those because so much meaning in each one. And if we really just kind of like took those laws in, the law of vibration, the law of cause and effect, and we took these in, I mean, there's 5 more after that, and like literally had them in our lives and really just cared about them a little bit. They're all beautiful things. It's what you put out, you get back, so it's a beautiful thing. If you put good things out, guess what? You're going to get good things coming back to you. And that's what it's all about. Learning the laws and really embracing them. It's not like a cult thing or anything. I don't want anyone to think it's like a religious thing. The only thing religious about it is that you love yourself. So I don't even know if that's really religious. I think that's the biggest, is to understand that it's not coming from any religion. It's coming from you. I know most people can't have a concept of that. They don't realize how powerful you are. So watch your words, say great things, but not even just say, think. So think great things, say great things, then you'll do great things. And then in return, you'll get great things. And so that's kind of the law of vibration and the law of cause and effect, briefly. Um, so, like all the community service, now you need to take something back for you. And when you have a balance like that, you're going to feel whole and you're not going to feel a void. Yeah, you have to, whether that is going to a spa, getting a nice, great massage, and really just connecting to the other side and asking, what am I on the right track? What else should I learn? What else should I know? Keep teaching me. Keep teaching me. When you keep learning, you'll stay alive. You will. You'll stay alive. We can live we can have magnificent bodies and keep our amazing bodies all the way until we're 120. The only reason why the old people get old and saggy and like run down, it's because they have too much worry and they have implemented in their DNA that as I age, I must get old and wrinkly. You can actually stop the aging process. And you just have to say it out loud. And you have to tell your body to stop the aging process. Period. And I say that. That's an affirmation I say. I stay my youthful self. And you do see people out there who are 50s and 60s and 70s, and they look youthful. And I see it. Not all of us, but there is. So it's possible. It's possible. And if it's possible for them, it's guaranteed possible for you. Anyone out there is you. It's the limit we put on ourselves. It's the belief system we put on ourselves. Um, and you might have to dig deep. It's not easy. That's why I suggest to have a session, because we have belief systems that tie us down, that stop us from being the best us. We go, oh no, that's not true. oh, no, 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 I live in this box, you know. Right. That's exactly my whole point. And I feel the same way. And as we get older, we're supposed to feel the very best. It's because we're wise. As you get older, the whole point is you're wiser. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm figuring this out. I know I have to self care for myself. I know I need to self love myself. And what does that mean? That may mean meditation every morning. That may mean a light yoga every morning. That may mean no social media. And if I am going to do social media, it's only going to be like a couple minutes, 10 minutes of it. Nice. That's great. Yep. And yeah, and when you, yeah, I feel like when we reach a certain age, we do start to wake up, and want better for ourselves. But sometimes it's hard to find that better. That's why I always suggest a session, because technically your angels and your higher self has guided you to listen to me, to get you to that point where you can go either have a session with quantum healing, or you can just do it on your own. We are amazing, we can, but sometimes we can't because our belief system, how we grew up, what we were told our whole life. There's a whole handful. And then when you don't eat right and you don't self care yourself and you're just go, 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 that is hard. And it's hard to get off that little karmic wheel. Um, and but that's why I say, if you can at least get a session with quantum healing, it'll change your life forever. And if not, then, always just keep working towards to be the best you. And I don't mean like, oh, go be a mega millionaire. I mean, you totally could. You're totally entitled. I'm not stopping anyone on that one. But I just mean like, care about yourself. Like, am I the weight I want to be? Am I healthy? Am I eating the food I want to eat? I mean, lots of people like junk food, and I get it. It's not good to me anymore, but it was good to me. So I get that. Understand it completely, But I think once you get out of that, um, and maybe you have to go to, another healer, like a holistic healer besides quantum healing. Sometimes that happens. Nutritionists is what I was thinking. Um, they're great. They really are. Nutritionists are awesome. It's holistic healing. Those people are trained to listen and respond to your body. So we're all different. And when you go in and get your supplements and wing yourself off of this crazy food we have. Oh wow, so cool. Where are you from? Oh, okay, cool, nice. So it's probably like really nice weather there. I love the fall time back east. It's just like so pretty back there. It's the one thing I miss. I'm from Michigan, so yeah, I miss that. Like here we have aspens and pine trees, but I live in Yellowstone, so it's volcano. It's cold here too. It's cold here too. But it's very high energy here. There's lots of energy. You rejuvenate here. You just feel the best you can be when you either go to Hawaii or you come to Yellowstone. They're the best two places. Actually, I just read in the newspaper they were the most visited in the last 2 years. So you can only imagine the energy. We're so drawn without even knowing we're drawn to it. And I love it. I love it because it proves to you that we're we're all about vibration. Have you ever tried to walk into a room and you may find someone in that room? Well, you're in the room and you see someone walk in the room and you can feel their vibration. That's the law of vibration too. Like we totally, it's like vibration, then air. That's how it is for us. And we skip vibration like we don't even know it. And so, that's the biggest thing. We go off of people's vibration. I mean, when someone's really happy or when someone's really not happy, you can feel their vibration. You just can. That's what that is. That's exactly what that feeling is. And anyway, it's yeah. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you being on here today with me. Yeah, definitely. You know, one person at a time. That's the thing. I Every time I come on here, it's always a little different variety. Sometimes I'll have handful. Sometimes it'll just be a few people, and that's great. It's like whatever it is, it is. It's it feels good, and you know, my hope is that people listen to this recording and they can actually slow down a little bit and maybe eat something a little bit more healthy. Think about what you're eating. Fuel their body with good stuff. Maybe carry a water bottle. Don't do a plastic one. Actually, go buy a nice water bottle and fill it up with fresh water. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So my podcasts are mostly like this. I always try to pick a different topic, but I went to the city yesterday and, and it made me go, whoa, let's talk about slowing down. Yeah. And so I just yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're so welcome. Definitely. I just, always want to send my light and my love and to yeah, I really felt that for you today. I really did. I felt like your higher self connected immediately and was like, you need a session. Like if you could go to that website and find a practitioner in your area, I guarantee you it will change your life for the very, very best. And you'll feel so good and you'll feel so whole. Period. You'll feel so whole. And that's wonderful. It's the biggest joy for me is that, wow, I mean, you're high. Yeah, you will. I like guarantee it. And when you pick your practitioner, this is so important to, if you have a handful of different people to choose from, of course, resonate with them, find their information, look at their website. They're all different. Like I was just in my last class and I always listen to my mentors because it's just so important because I don't know everything. I'm learning as well. Um, is that, some people go to practitioners that don't fit them, that just, their vibe, again, the vibration, it didn't match. So really, when you pick your practitioner, fill them out because that's so important. Don't have someone talk to you rudely. Don't have someone push you along. This is very precious. This is your life. People have been through a lot and, it's not something for people to toy with. Really, you need to find someone compassionate, someone who doesn't interrupt you, someone who is letting you say it without judgment. You don't need that. You don't need judgment. That's the last thing you need. That's what's really important is that you resonate and you feel super good with that person. And if you walk into their place and you sit down with them for the first 5 minutes, I always say it doesn't take long because see, we go off of vibration. Period. We just do. You can tell if you like someone or not. It's that simple. And if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Just don't. That's my biggest advice, to listen to yourself. I don't think we listen to ourselves. Think for ourselves. And when you do that, it makes a world of difference. And you listen to your gut. That's why we have a gut, that feeling. And it's happened. I've heard some horror stories. I was like, oh, geez, why are these practitioners not like some people dive in being a practitioner because it sounds cool? And it really is, but it takes a special person. It's just like a nurse. It's just like a hospice care some person. It's like it takes a special person to do this job. Um, And you certainly can't rush the person. You certainly can't judge them. And I'm not meaning the client. I'm meaning the practitioner. Is like they can be judgy. They can they didn't work on themselves long enough. That's the other thing I'm doing. I still work on myself. I want to be the best me. I want to love myself the very best and feel complete and always practice it and always repetition, always over and over and over, because old habits can come back. So that's really important to constantly wake up and repetition of affirmations of self-care. It's really important because we will bounce back to old ways because they're for the conscious mind, they're easier, which is not true. We just need to practice it a little bit. But anyway, yeah, that's my biggest thing. And then also, make sure you laugh today. Make sure you go on the internet and find something hilarious, something that will make you laugh so hard. Mine was I love, I love either funny little kids or I love, that's so cool, animals. So of course oh my gosh, I laughed so hard. Anyway, that's a big deal. And yeah, so anything that doesn't fit your lifestyle also, you just might have to weave out. That's just my other message, I feel like, out there, not knowing who these messages are for. I just hope the ears that needed to hear it will hear it. That's my I swear my dog's the same way. I'm like, oh my God, these animals, yeah, they're just too much. They bring such joy. But yeah, so, and also if you guys like to read, check out Dolores Cannon's books. They will open your mind like you wouldn't believe. They are definitely mind benders. But I always suggest if you do want a session, I kind of go back to at the very beginning. Her very first book was The First Five Lives Remembered by Dolores Cannon. That was her very first book. I always suggest to read that. It's kind of nice. It opens your mind if you're not even understanding reincarnation and or past lives, because essentially that's what this technique is all about, and connecting to the higher self and knowing that we have this amazing team behind us. Yeah, we can't see them, but they're right there, and you can ask for them all day long. For instance, if you're in your car or you're walking and you need a sign or you need a message, you can say it out loud. They'll give you a message within seconds. Look for it, open your eyes, and they're right there. Even like if you wanted a parking spot, no, this is hilarious, but I needed a parking spot every time in the city, of course. I was like, okay, guys, here I am. I'm in this traffic. Okay, you guys, put me first. Put me at a good spot. Guess what? I had front row every time. Every time there was a front row spot. Oh, it was very joyful. I was laughing. And don't take life so serious. That just came to me right now. Is like, don't take life so serious. If you mess up, laugh. I mean, hey, so what? We mess up. We're not perfect, but we're perfect in our own way. And so that's why don't be so hard on yourself. I always say that. But they were just saying that to me just now. It's like, care about that and don't take it so serious and laugh. And yeah, it's great. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. I am going to get off and do some things, be outside, enjoying my day. It's cold, but it's all good. I don't care. Thank you. Bye. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a really blessed day. And I hope to talk to you guys again. Thank you.